to everybody. It's been an interesting time for the whole world. We're delighted to see you back. This is our first event proper since the pandemic struck. Briefly from me, the famous words on that wall above Queen Elizabeth, Gloria Domus, which are familiar to all of you. Just let me give you 3 examples of us putting meaning into those words at the moment. More than 20 fellowships out of 60 have now been endowed, securing the supervision system for the next couple of centuries, I'm sure. 2 in the names of people you will remember well, Arthur Armitage and Derek Bowett, both funded by a member of the 1961 year, the late Ewan Macpherson Honorary Fellow. 12 of our subjects here that we teach now have endowments around them to help students with their academic expenses, including most recently in the name of someone also who you are familiar with, the much missed Henry St. John Hart. And in the name of the first black student to study at Cambridge, he was at Queen's, Alexander Crummell, we have 17 postgraduate scholarships. This morning we only had 15, I've just been informed now we're 17. Full ride scholarships for those from difficult backgrounds who wouldn't be able to go on to do postgraduate study. Thank you to everybody in this hall who's helped make this possible. As always, I wouldn't be doing my job if I wasn't transparent about what we still need to do. Our endowment is now, don't fall off your chairs, at 115 million. That has doubled in the last 10 years. As a comparison, though, to a similarly sized college in terms of student numbers, St. John's is at 750 million. We have a little bit to go till we're comfortable. Our estate, of course, beautiful as it is a constant drain on the resources, and the famous Erasmus building from, dare I say, your day, which you will remember as being brand new, is now in need of radical refurbishment, to understate the common sentiment. The roof is life expired. Too many undergraduates had their 21st birthday parties on top of that roof. I'm sure nobody in this room can lay claim to that, but it did happen. Double glazing needs to be fitted, and if possible, of course, disabled access. The whole building will need to be evacuated for 6 months while we refurbish it, which means we've got to find accommodation for everybody else elsewhere. And 3 things you may have thought you would never have heard said in these walls. We produced the top engineer in the whole university finals tripos in the summer. She is from Romania. Our Dean of Chapel, who is also head of our widely regarded professional welfare team, is setting up an interfaith centre within the college, the first of any college in Cambridge. We no longer have a hockey team in the college. I realise that many of you played in outstanding hockey teams of yesteryear. We do produce hockey blues, male and female. We have not been head of the river since 1970. Also, hard to think of when you guys were leading the charge to head of the river in 62, 63, something like that. But it's not all bad news. We have 2 female rowers arriving this term as postgraduates from New Zealand, one of whom won a gold medal in the Tokyo Olympics in the 8 and a silver in the coxless pairs. So the college will still flourish. What certainly remains, though, from your time to this day is our belief that this place exists purely to change people's lives for good and thus create generational change. And that is our focus as a fellowship and as a college. And with that, I'll hand it over to the master.
This is the college of today. What about the college of your years? We did some research to go back and see what was it like to be here. as Rowan said, we opened the Erasmus building when you were here. And I thank you because I was one of the many who had their birthdays on the roof of the Erasmus building. Although I must admit having no memories whatsoever of what actually happened that evening. But we did it with I did it with two other friends, and they assured me that we actually were on the top of the Erasmus building. The Queen Mother came for that. She met with 50 undergraduates, maybe some of you were among that group. She attended a performance of some Shakespeare scenes in Cloister Court. There's some debate at this end of the table, because I happen to be placed next to two people who are on the committee, whether you have the first or second Mayball, but you have one of the very first Mayballs. And we have here the chair of the Mayball Committee. And this is what the governing body approved. There will be dancing from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. A champagne buffet, punts, etc. And I leave it up to you to tell me what the etc. is. You set very high standards for Queen sports. We had 3 blues in rowing. We had 3 blues across country. But the thing that made me smile the most was the rugby team. Rugby team were league champions and did so, and this is a description of the captain of the rugby team. Without any real stars, showing that fitness and enthusiastic team spirit are the factors that count in the league. And that was Captain Bush of that team. And we do have here the captain of the golf team. Do we not? No?
Yes.
Yes? My understanding is you went 2 seasons unbeaten.
Possibly, although one of them was the infamous winter of 1962-63, when we could hardly play a single game.
Well, in the record